Super Mario retains the crown, and we talk all things CinemaCon right here on Beyond the Screen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Beyond the Screen. I'm your voice-cracked host, Ryan, right? My voice cracked terribly in the read-in, and I want to call it out before anyone else does. I don't know what happened. I did a test read right before that, and it sounded fantastic. With me, as always, is Jake Holtzclaw. Jake, you're doing a lot better than I am. The smooth-voiced.
Smoother-voiced individual who... sometimes it's cranked up on Ryan's side, and I can't do anything about it. But
bro's cranked.
Let me know if it's too loud, because I'll continue to turn it down, and Ryan will continue to turn me up.
I'd never turn you up. Actually, I turn you down. To be honest with you, I've only ever turned you down. This man,
he's messing with it.
This man turns it back up when he goes to game, and he forgets to turn it down the next week, and it just ruins everything.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Bro's a liar.
I don't even touch it.
Don't let him lie to you. He definitely does. Bro's touching it. Bro's touching it. Be careful.
Right now. He's touching it right now.
Yeah, his mixer.
Wait. Right.
Yeah. It's like Walter White. Jesse,
right
please!
Here.
Jesse! Make sure you're describing what you're touching, Jesse! No! He's like yelling through the car.
Remember that one time when you told me not to say anything you wouldn't want on camera?
Don't care anymore. We're way beyond that.
No.
We're way beyond that.
2 years.
It's like that one reel that went on Instagram for a while, and it's like these two stick figures and they're dating, and it's like when you get comfortable, and it's like yeah, sure, it's like, now you learned I'm weird and now you can't leave. That is us with this show. We got comfortable. God forbid the hosts got comfortable, and now the audience can't leave. And yeah. Anyway, what an unhinged way to start the episode.
Subscription-based unfollowing.
Yeah. You got pay us $1 million to leave.
It's a $12.99 subscription to be unfollowed from us.
1 month per month. It's
per month.
$12.99 per month.
If you lapse and cancel, then you're followed back.
But we have the Adobe's way of, you have to unsubscribe. If you unsubscribe, you have to pay the rest of whatever subscription and a canceling fee. And it's buried behind endless screens, so you never really find the end subscription button. And then you try to call us.
Then we give you a discount for $6.99 for the next month.
Yeah, and we will not answer if you call us. Customer service will not be there. So
we don't have one.
Unsubscribe if you dare. Anyway. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into movie news, because that's why you're here, not us being unhinged for the first 3 minutes of a podcast. We always start our episodes with the box office. We go over our predictions from last week. So let's see where we stand with how we predicted this past weekend. I am on somewhat of a hot streak. This is the second straight week that I've gotten 3 out of 5 after going 5 of 5 2 weeks ago. So I had Super Mario Galaxy at 1, The Mummy at 2, Project Hail Mary at 3, The Drama at 4, and You, Me, and Tuscany at 5. I got 3 out of those 5 correct to bring my season total up to 14. For those who are new here, we keep track of how many we get correct in terms of what we're guessing, and we put those into a season total, and we're going to award the winner. Hopefully, it's one of us and not TJ, and we'll describe who TJ is in a minute. I lead right now with 14. Following right behind is the 4 out of 5. This is his second straight, or did you get 5 out of 5 last week? Jake, you got 5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Following up his 5 out of 5 is perfect 5 of 5 prediction from last week. He gets 4 out of 5. Jake is on a hot streak after going 2 out of 5 the week before that. So Jake very quickly crawls out of a deficit, not just crawling out of a deficit to catch the two leaders, me and TJ, but passing TJ to become second with 13 points after predicting Super Mario Galaxy, Project Hail Mary, The Mummy, The Drama, and Mother Mary, getting 4 out of the 5 correct. And rounding out our prediction, the competition of the trio, is TJ. For those who are new here, TJ is a bot. He is Claude, and we like to predict and go up against him in terms of his accuracy and what all of the resources he can pull from across the internet. And shockingly, again, he's dead last. He's not really accurate. Last season, we had ChatGPT, and Chat was abysmal. Claude is a bit better. Not great, as again, it's a tight race thus far, but after going 5 out of 5 with me 2 weeks ago, he's fallen behind. Guys, like coming with me at 3 out of 5, we predicted the exact same thing. So Super Mario, The Mummy, Hail Mary, The Drama, and you, me, and Tuscany to get 3 out of 5 correct. His season total is at 12. So again, I lead the series with 14. Jake is in second with 13, and TJ or Claude is in third with 12 points. So a very tight race heading into, what is this, week 5 or 6 of season 3. So we're doing pretty good. How do you feel about the box office and your points, Jake? You really did crawl out of a hole early.
Well, we started counting, right? It didn't matter.
Stop the count.
It didn't matter the prior year. But
Yeah,
we started
right.
counting, so now I have to try, I guess.
At one point, the score was like 11-9 and, or maybe it was like 9-7-4 or something like that. Maybe like 11-9-4. Like Jake, you were pretty far behind. In these past 2 weeks, you scored 9 very quickly to pull ahead of TJ and to pull right behind me. So it's going to be
Started
interesting
asking an insider on the
Bro's
West
asking
Coast.
another bot. Bro went to Copilot.
But I won't.
So there's no way to track anyway. Let's go over from top to bottom, 1 through 5, those accurate numbers and that accurate list of 5 from this past weekend. So we're going to start at number 1. Super Mario Galaxy finishes first for the 3rd straight weekend in a row, followed by Project Hail Mary. Lee Cronin's The Mummy debuts to 3rd in the top 5. The Drama comes in 4th from A24, and You, Me, and Tuscany rounds out the top 5, maintaining a top 5 hold after 2 weeks in theaters. So let's go back to Super Mario and let's break down those numbers. Super Mario has earned $36.4 million domestically on the past weekend, with a global total of $747.47 million earned in total. Again, that's a huge number for a sequel film. However, the film did drop 47% in earnings from last week, and again, we said this at the top, Illumination and Nintendo pick up their 3rd straight first place finish, which is the first since Avatar Fire and Ash, which is a great company to be in because Avatar held that for 6 weeks, I believe, maybe 5 weeks. But when you take a look at the grand scheme of things, when you compare it to the original, because that's all anyone does in the realm of sequels and IPs, how well does your sequel fare when compared to your first one? And thus far, even though Super Mario Galaxy is looking to probably be a $1.2 or $3 billion earner, which is again fantastic for a film of any kind to be a $1 billion earning, as of this week, if you compare to the first films through 3 weeks, it is about 80 million behind, according to the dailies. So lacking by a decent mark domestically is Super Mario Galaxy when compared to the first film. Why do we think that is, Jake?
I don't know. Wasn't this weekend something?
I mean, I guess in sports, the NBA playoffs kind of got kicked off. I don't really think there was anything huge. And when I look around the rest of the box office, outside of Project Hail Mary and the debuting Mummy, there was not a ton. There's not a ton for it to like compete against, other than maybe Hail Mary with its positivity and its continued strength, word of mouth, and its continued drive at the box office, which we'll talk about here in a second. Maybe that's why it dropped a little bit, but it's shocking to see it not fare as well, especially before Michael. The first 3 weeks that it's been out has been relatively lax competition outside of its first week when it was coming up against a new Hail Mary. But again, Hail Mary's in its 5th week? So I don't know. I'm not for sure what's going on with Mario. I personally think it's probably some fatigue from the Illumination, from the video game adaptations. Maybe not a lot, because again, it depends, because we're coming after, like, it's been a year since a Minecraft movie earned almost $1 billion and became the meme movie of the year. So there's still definitely an appetite for it, but I do wonder if a lack of quality story, because I've seen that be the biggest critique for Super Mario Galaxy, is that it's just not, the story's not fantastic, but the first one's story wasn't great either. So I don't know. I feel like maybe there's a little bit too much of rinse repeat with the formula that Illumination and Nintendo had for the story here.
They were at CinemaCon.
Who was?
Everybody who would go see Mario.
I guess that could be true, but that stopped on Thursday.
Oh.
not this past week. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm interested to see a little bit of a deeper dive into why it's not faring as much, but it could just be that people aren't going to theaters this weekend because they're prepping for what's coming next week, which we'll talk about here in a bit. Finishing second is Project Hail Mary, earning $20.5 million domestically, pushing its global total to $573 million, only dropping 15% in ticket sales from last week. It is maintaining. It's not just maintaining, it is cruising through the box office after a month in theaters. This is its 5th weekend in theaters. It was also announced this past weekend that the sci-fi drama will be returning to IMAX screens. It started last Friday and it runs through this Friday. So we'll see how much revenue that picks up. Sadly, I don't think that they will count what happens Monday through Thursday. So it has one day of IMAX for this past weekend, or for next weekend, I should say, of what we're predicting. But that is still huge for the revenue that will be brought in. Mind you, the reason it's returning to box office or to IMAX screens, popular demand. Fans asked for it and theaters gave it. So it's fascinating. And the reason that it's not going through Sunday is because a film called Michael hits our screens this weekend. So they got as much as they could, but it just won't die, will Project Hail Mary. And I think we're here for it.
Oh, I love it. I wish I had a IMAX theater near me.
I feel like you might, or you could come down here. We have one. On the road.
Is it in Cincy?
I think so. I wasn't going to say it. But yeah, there's most definitely one there.
IMAX map. Well, what are they calling them now? Limax? Because they're not real?
Well, I mean, IMAX is just bigger screen and better audio. So it's like, I mean, like there's more to it than that, but it's just, to put it layman's terms, it's just bigger screen. But anyway, Limax. There's some interesting news about premium viewing that we'll talk about later too from CinemaCon. But again, we're doing a lot of foreshadowing. Let's just go ahead and get through our top 5 here.
Oh yeah, I guess there is one. No, what's the other one? There's only like a few. Is that the 70 millimeter?
Yeah. That one is the big one.
Gotcha.
Finishing third is Lee Cronin's The Mummy, earning $13.5 million domestically and pulling in globally $34 million on a $22 million budget, earning less than the lowest projections. I'll repeat that again. A film that pushing hard where its marketing team earned less than its lowest projections did its first week in its debut, did Lee Cronin's The Mummy. The film finds itself, and Warner's, I should rephrase, I apologize. The film finds itself to be Warner's second straight dud at the box office following The Bride earlier this year, after what was a fantastic year last year for the outlet. The film boasts a 46% on the tomato meter, yet a 75% on the popcorn meter, which I find fascinating. It's not uncommon to see them that different, but for a film that critically is not reviewed very highly, but it's decently reviewed by fans, but for those who went to go see it, it still underperformed any projections. But those who are going to see it are for the most part enjoying it. 75% on the tomato or the popcorn meter. So some of those reviews include, this is from the tomato meter, quote, "The film surrounds itself with the dumbest, most uncaring people in the world, reacting like no other human would in any given situation, that it becomes impossible to offer any empathy yourself as to what has happened to this poor girl." Now, mind you, the story follows a journalist's daughter being kidnapped, and then 8 years later, she reappears and there's a curse. So that's from Eric Childress of the Movie Madness podcast. So a lot of dumb, but again, it's a horror film, so you got to kind of forgive it for that. And that seems to be what most fans, not critics, are kind of taking away from this. From the popcorn meter, there is a reviewer who's called Keeping Eye, who we're going to quote here, who said, quote, "Whoever says this isn't worth seeing are the worst critics. This has an original storyline, essentially 3 horror genres in one: Mummy, Exorcist, Evil Dead. Definitely worth checking out." Again, that's Keeping Eye from Rotten Tomato. So again, I kind of gave it away earlier, but the Rotten Tomato synopsis for the film is, quote, "The young daughter of a journalist disappears into the desert without a trace. 8 years later, the broken family is shocked when she's returned to them. However, what would be a joyful reunion soon turns into a living nightmare as she starts to transform into something truly horrifying." I've seen a lot as I was scrolling through those reviews. I saw a lot of Exorcist comparisons. Little girl, spooky stuff, possession, insert comparison. But for those who liked it, they seem to compare it to The Exorcist in the best possible way. And I've seen a lot of people say there's a lot of gross stuff. I think another review even said that they had never left a theater feeling nauseous, and they did for this one. And this was a positive review. So I'm fascinated myself to go see this one to see exactly kind of how it fares. Like, which side of the aisle is it going to be more critically that I agree with, or the more fanfare? Jake, what do you think?
I think it's I think the more fanfare. Sorry, I'm looking into the next news.
Oh no, you're good.
Prepping myself. But what's the question? I'm sorry.
No, like
I
what?
think
Why
you're
do you
into me.
think? So, like, where do you think the truth lies? Is it somewhere in the middle? Why do you think fans are so much higher on this film? I mean, it's not just because it's critics versus fans, and fans are a lot more general audiences are a lot more forgiving than critics
Yeah.
naturally. But with this one in particular, it's interesting that there's a lot of comparisons to legendary films. Like for this one, like this critique that we were just reading, they compare it to Evil Dead and The Exorcist and so on and so forth. So I saw a lot of Exorcist comparisons. Why do you think critics kind of swayed away from this one?
I think they're always far too critical. And then it seems like not critical enough on the ones that they end up liking.
Yeah.
Very odd, but because I'm not into the whole horror thing, I couldn't tell you why it would be similar to The Exorcist, but I would be intrigued on what they scored The Exorcist at, or Evil Dead, or
Yeah.
like,
Why?
do critics prefer The Exorcist over this, or are they drawing those same comparisons?
Yeah, why I'm so fascinated by this is because The Mummy is one of those like monster verse, like very old timey IP that has been tried to been revived time and time again, and it's been taken in many different directions. Like you have the originals from what I would imagine is like the 50s or 60s. Then you have like the Brendan Fraser The Mummy, and that's a completely different. Like that's not really a horror. That's like it's almost goofy. Like it's a thriller drama type with Brendan Fraser. So I wonder if the fact that this was taken such in a unique route, a true horror that is, and again, a horror genre is usually critiqued higher or heavier from critics as is. But I wonder because if this is so new and this is so out of left field for what critics was expecting for this character or for this type of villain, maybe them taking a swing for something new just did not land with that audience who knows the general history behind the Mummy movies, you know?
Which most of these movies that you listed off are preferred by the
Right.
tomato meter.
Right. Yeah.
Well, except the Mummy.
The original Mummy in 1999.
Or Mummy, not the Mummy.
I mean, the original Mummy has a 64% on the tomato meter. So I mean, and it's, that also has a 75% on the popcorn meter. So again, I just think that there's probably, but the 64 is much obviously preferred over a 43%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested for sure. We'll go ahead and round out our top five here. The drama comes in fourth, earning $4.8 million domestically, bringing its global total to $81.8 million, a big success for A24. And You, Me, and Tuscany rounds out our top five, earning $3.8 million domestic and pushing its global total to 16.1. Other news from around the box office: Hoppers finally drops out of the top five, finishing sixth, and Bob Odenkirk's latest endeavor, Normal, debuts at seventh at the box office. Jake, what beyond the top five or maybe six catches your eye from this past weekend?
Bhuth Bangla.
Gesundheit.
Yeah. A man inherits a palace in rural Mangalapur and plans his sister's wedding there, but strange supernatural events and panicked locals force him to investigate the property's mysterious past. I don't know who. I'm trying to find the. Okay, I think it's a Bollywood.
I don't know. I would assume.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was funny. I just saw it on there. It's in 10th, 500 theaters, $1 million.
Yeah.
And then the what is it? BTS. What does BTS stand for? I assume it's the K-pop thing.
It is
Yeah,
a K-pop. It's something Korean. I could not.
Yeah, they had a world tour. Got 1.8 million.
Yeah. Never doubt the
Japan.
power of K-pop boy bands.
Yeah.
Don't
Demon
do it.
Hunters.
Well, that either. Either way, regardless, never doubt Korean pop culture because it's a behemoth in and of itself, and people love some K-dramas, some K-pop, and yada yada yada.
And they were in Japan.
Yeah, can you imagine? Let's go watch that concert film about their world tour. They're from Korea and Japan, in America, and you know what? In
America,
1.8 million in a little under 1,200 theaters. Very well done for.
And then finally at number 7, Normal with Bob Odenkirk, 2,000 theaters. Kind of slipped in there. I don't think many people noticed that, unfortunately, which I don't remember it either.
So the film did not do very well internationally. I couldn't imagine it released very wide internationally. It earned just 9,000 more overseas than it did here. So that 2.5 million is about what it earned overall in its first weekend. The synopsis from Box Office Mojo includes, quote, centers on a temporary small town sheriff who uncovers dark mysteries after a local bank robbery. And that is it. That's kind of I won't lie, that's a little bland. That could just be IMDb. I'm assuming it's just IMDb. It just gave a very, very broad, very bland kind of synopsis. But I've seen a lot of promotion for that myself. I guess I am target audience for that. But I'm an Odenkirk fan.
Oh, the town's name was Normal.
Gotcha.
The horse's name was Friday.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That's exactly what that sounds like. But why does he... I feel like Odenkirk after Better Call Saul is just like, I want to play obscure characters in films that are named the most erratic things possible, like the most random things possible. So it's Nobody, and
Normal.
now it's Normal.
Nobody 2.
Yeah, Nobody 2 came out there. But anywho.
So, his provisional posting to the quaint Midwestern American town of Normal was meant to be a welcome respite from both his marital woes and recent moral injuries in the line of duty. But when a botched bank robbery interrupts the municipality's tranquil pace, a dark secret is inadvertently exposed, and Ulysses soon discovers that the town is anything but its namesake. There's like a level of supernatural going on there.
I can dig that. I can get behind
action, crime, mystery, thriller.
Yeah, I can. Action, crime, mystery, thriller. I love when they throw just every
whatever it is,
avenue of filmmaking you can throw on there. But anywho, are you ready to get into our predictions?
Mayhaps. Oh, you want to know what Mario's genre is?
Please.
It's an adventure, animation, comedy, family, fantasy.
I'm gonna get that tattooed somewhere.
Tramp stamp.
What is? But it's all tiny and like comic book sans, just back to back, no spaces, just back to back to back.
Papyrus.
Yeah, papyrus. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into these box office predictions. Jake, I want you to start us off. Tell us about your top 5 and why.
I chose my top 5 because they're right and Ryan's is wrong. I chose Michael at 1, Super Mario at 2. So Michael obviously going to get like 80 million or something like that. Mario's going to get less.
Right.
And then Project Hail Mary, I got it at 3. I don't care about IMAX. And then I've got Mother Mary. It's a wide release. I got screwed last week. It is now wide releasing. And re-release of Fight Club at 5. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I feel like Jaws last year going off the way it did has a lot of false
I'm always
hope.
for the re-releases.
I know you are, but I
putting
think
them in there.
I think you've bit into something that will hardly ever happen again. Like I don't think we're gonna see unless it's like Infinity War in like 15 years, and that's like nostalgia. Like Jaws was like the Infinity War of the 70s. You know, it's like that is the worst way to describe that. But you get what I'm saying.
Then you got Jaws 3, which is in game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But the point is that it was a cinematic event. It's like Star Wars. I feel like if Star Wars, the original, I feel like they've done this before though, but I guess that's not necessarily, I would not say that's apples to oranges. Actually, I would say that was apples to oranges just because like there's been so many re-releases of A New Hope that I feel like even if they did do A New Hope into theaters with it going onto DVD or you know what I'm saying, when they had the Blu-ray where they've changed Jabba the Hutt, his animation, or you know what I mean? It's like I feel like so it's not necessarily something you can compare, but like I feel like if there are films like that, like very few that you can re-release and they do as well as Jaws did, I don't think Fight Club is that. I love David Fincher and I love Fight Club. I don't think that one's gonna be there. But
Brad Pitt.
But Brad Pitt, hey, we're doing it. But I can follow and appreciate your love for that film. I, on the other hand, with the correct top 5, have
Right.
Michael at 1, Super Mario Galaxy at 2, Project Hail Mary at 3, and I mean we both had the exact same top 3, and so did Claude. So we're both right there. I just think Michael's going to run away with it, and I wanted to put Project Hail Mary above Super Mario Galaxy. However,
Shoulda.
the simple fact that Project Hail Mary is not keeping the IMAX screens and Michael's taking them on Saturday, I just feel like that loses any hope of Project Hail Mary. If we're doing a weekly, then I think Project Hail Mary Monday through Friday would easily out-earn Super Mario, but that's not what we're here for, right? We're here for Friday through Sunday. I think that, because look at the difference between the two films this week, right? 36.4 to 20.5. Do we think one day of IMAX will outdo 15 or 16 million dollars? The answer is no, it will not. For if you each of them drop, I know Project Hail Mary only dropped 15%, but let's say each of them drop like 40% this week. You know, like Mario has to lose a lot more, and Project Hail Mary has to lose a very little for it to pass. And I don't think it has screened long enough into the weekend of which we're predicting for it to actually do it. So after some thought, I decided to keep Project Hail Mary with you and with Claude. 4th, I have The Mummy because I'm pushing everything down. Once Michael comes out, I think that you're going to see the 1, 2, and 3 from this week go 2, 3, and 4. And then I have Mother Mary at 5. But as we talked right before the show, Mother Mary has an opportunity with how well it performed in the limited release, has a real opportunity to upset The Mummy for 4. I don't think Fight Club has enough behind it, especially with so many films coming out this week. Like, again, Michael, Mother Mary, The Mummy going into a second weekend, even though horror films have a tendency to drop a lot farther. But Project Hail Mary is still a popular film. Super Mario is still a popular family film. I don't think Fight Club's
still super popular.
It is very popular. I'm not saying it's not, but I just think that it's got so much newness to compete with that I don't think it will. I don't personally think it'll break top 5, but we will see. So anyway, I say that all to say, I think your Mother Mary at 4 is a good pick. In my mind, I just don't know if, with everything ahead of it, will it earn more than, let's say, $8 million? Could, but will the drama, which I don't think will finish top 5, but that one's really popular, A24. Will the drama continue to pull, with how popular it is, pull audiences away? Will Super Mario continue to pull audiences away? How much will Michael pull audiences away? I don't know. So I think Mother Mary will finish 5th. And now, Jake, break down Claude for us. That's been our predictions. We'll see how we did next week. Let's see how the bot did.
Top 3, same. Michael, Super Mario, and Project Hail Mary. Then we've got Lee Cronin's The Mummy at 4, right there with Ryan. Same thing. For some reason, they think the same. And then it's put the drama at 5.
Crazy
the drama,
business.
The
Crazy
number 4
business.
at 4.8 million. That lost 43% and will continue to lose another 50%. Holding at the top 5.
When you put that in there, I genuinely couldn't believe it. Because, like, again, while I will, because
I
of its
had no idea.
popularity, because of its popularity, I do think the drama will, like, have a tendency to pull maybe a couple handfuls of audience members from some of these other films. But you're telling me that it's going to do better than a second week Mummy? It's going to do better than a re-releasing Fight Club? It's going to do better than a debuting wide, well-performing and limited Mother Mary? No, it will not. So,
Well, now you're just a hater.
I'm there with you. Oh, it's not hating when you do it, but when I do it, it's hating.
Yeah, because you're a nice guy.
Oh,
you should expect it from me.
You know, that's a level of double standard that I strive for. I appreciate you bringing that onto the show. Thank you, Jay. Anything else you want to tell the people before we get to our second segment?
Listen to the second segment.
Okay. Coming up after the break, we will talk all things CinemaCon, so stick around. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You've made it to segment 2, which is, as always, our major news segment. We pick the biggest thing from this past week. We break it down for you guys so you don't have to, because there's a lot of headlines and there's a lot of words being thrown on various screens on various sites everywhere. We read them so you don't have to, and we give you the best breakdowns that we can and give you our opinions. And if you disagree, again, as always, the links are down below in the description for those sources so you can come up with your own opinion and debate us in the comments, because we would love to hear your thoughts. So this is going to be a lot of information, okay? We're going to see a lot of stuff being thrown about because CinemaCon, Monday through Thursday, each of the biggest distributors and their affiliates, so like Universal and Focus Features will go together, Neon and Toho Entertainment went together, and so on and so forth, right? So a lot of different distributors are outlining this year's and various projects in the next few years. And there's just way too much stuff to talk about all of it, right? But we're going to give you the best of the most. We're going to go through the most that we can and the best information that we could find. So buckle up, let's strap in, and let's go through each distributor and give our thoughts. We'll start with how the week began with Sony Entertainment, Sony Movies. Let's see. Beginning the week, Sony showed a holographic version of Tom Holland, who revealed an all-exclusive sneak peek at a scene from the upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day, calling the film his, quote, most emotional and, quote, most grown-up version of Spider-Man yet. Following this, the new distributor showed a clip from Zach Cregger's, who you'll be hearing his name a lot today, his new film, Resident Evil. So it's his own take on the Resident Evil franchise, the adaptations from the games, which have been happening for a very long time. After finding his way, this is going back, I should say, backtracking. This is what I'm about to read is a description of that clip or of that sneak peek for Cregger's upcoming Resident Evil adaptation. So, after finding his way to a dark home on a snowy night, lead Austin Abrams, who plays a medical courier, asked to use the phone to call his girlfriend. After quickly outlining some issues during his travels, he describes, quote, some things have happened, and he's in, quote, a seriously effed up situation, and we might not get to talk to each other again. So drama from the very beginning, right? This dramatic snowy night, this guy goes into what looks like a dark and desolate home, asks to use the phone, and is like, hey, babe, I might be dying. And that's all he gives her, which is the worst way to talk to your partner if something bad is happening. But anyway, that's the story that's being outlined. So in case you were wondering, Cregger's himself is a massive fan of the video game series, which is something we love to hear here on Beyond the Screen, because we talked many a video game adaptation, and more often than not, the people adapting them don't even know the lore of what they're adapting. So happy to hear and happy to report that Zach Cregger's himself is a massive fan of the video game series and has reportedly played, quote, a ton or a S-load of Resident Evil over the last couple of decades.
What load? What load?
You know what I'm saying. So Cregger's himself is like, I've played a lot of these games, so I know the lore, which is, again, fantastic to hear. He also went on to outline that there will be no time jumps or what he called narrative antibiotics in the story. So in essence, his other stories, they kind of like bounce back and forth between perspective to perspective. They show time jumps, they show back and forth. This one will be straight up Abrams all the way through, his character all the way through. We are getting a non-blinking, gruesome look at his travels in the Resident Evil franchise, which I'm very excited. And him as a medical courier, that adds another layer of he knows how to survive because he knows how to treat him and others. So that makes his journey even more interesting for me while he goes through this universe in Resident Evil and yada, yada, yada. Moving on past Zach Cregger's, we also got sneak peeks for Beyond the Spider-Verse and The Legend of Zelda, which I also found fascinating. And lastly, from Sony, this is really something I wanted to talk about. Sony CEO Tom Rothman made a plea. He took the stage and he made a plea for 3 changes to happen in cinema or theaters abroad. 1, enforce longer theatrical windows. 2, scrap ads. And 3, offer cheaper tickets. Jake, why is that ironic, and why do you think I want to talk about this?
Because didn't they come out saying that wasn't the problem or something like that? I don't remember.
So kind of, but the reason that's the irony, the irony in this, the higher expensive tickets, right? Yeah. The ads, like all this, the theatrical windows. That's the distributor's fault.
Yeah.
That is directly his fault, not his alone, mind you. Why do you think tickets are more expensive? It's because it's more expensive for theater chains to purchase them to show. Why do you think they show ads? So they can make revenue, so they can keep their doors open. Why do you think theatrical windows are shorter? Because those distributors and those production houses want their things on streaming quicker so they can charge you $20 per stream. That's not on the theater chains to lower prices. That's on you. You know, like, make your films more accessible to theater chains and they will lower prices. And I'm not saying that, like, it's all, like, I know AMC and Regal, they are going to price gouge what they're going to price gouge. Like, they're not completely innocent in this. But the reason that, like, the first and most important reason that those chains, even the ones that price gouge, have their prices so high is because Sony, Warner Brothers, Disney, they're making it less accessible, so you have to pay more money. They're less accessible. They're not in theaters as long because they want their stuff on their own streaming platforms or on platforms in general. What are we talking about here?
That's the CEO telling the other CEO. I mean, because Sony makes some money off of the tickets.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I need to make more money, so you need to lower the ticket costs.
That's not even something I wrote down, but that's such a good point, is that, like, box office revenue is shared from theaters. So you're saying you make it more expensive for theaters to get your own movie. You then split the profits that they show for your movie. And then the only other ways that avenue of storytelling makes money, you're saying they should do less.
Yeah.
What do you want to happen?
More money.
More money. But this is
That's
like
what
a level.
That's what they want. They want more money.
This is a level of detached that I wish I could live, of ignorance that I wish that I had the privilege of having. Because this guy has not that he has no idea what he's talking about, but he is so far removed from this process that he's lost.
But I think
he's lost the plot.
He'll get the backing of the people, because those are three things that people want.
Oh, of course. Right? The general audiences who don't know how that works will definitely be like, oh yeah, he's one of us. And it's like, the distributors, they're the ones giving them to theaters. They're the ones setting the terms for how long theaters get to show their movies. Who do you think's making the movies? Like, what are you talking about? Who owns the movies? Sony owns their own movie. Sony owns a movie that goes to theater houses.
Sony's the one been preventing the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, like it
the whole time.
I saw this and I was like, look, I'm not here saying that he isn't valid in some of the things he's saying. But also there's a level of, you are causing this problem. He might not have been, obviously he wasn't the one. I don't know how long he's been CEO, but I'm not going to sit here and say he was the one who started this at Sony. He inherited this, whoever before him was someone who was doing the same thing. He was just following the same practices. Like, I'm not here to blame him at Tom Rothman as like the man causing the problem, because he's not. None of these CEOs in charge now are that person, right? I'm not doing that. But there has to be a level of
they continue.
Yeah, they continue it, which is a perpetuating of a problem. But there has to be some level of understanding that, like, the way you make it more accessible and the way you make money, there are two things you do. You make it cheaper for theaters to put it in theaters for longer, which means you give it to theaters for less. You put it in the theatrical run, you make it longer, so you're making less money on streaming right away. And you make better movies. Because what have we shown? Well, I know, shocking. What have we shown? When there are good movies in theaters, people go see them, i.e. Project Hail Mary. That's a good movie. And it was so popular that they're putting it back in IMAX screens because people want to go see it more.
At that cost.
At that cost, at the current cost. So you make better movies and your problem go away. But that's the problem, is that's like telling someone to perform. People don't like to hear that. People do not like to hear, well, then do it. People like to complain. And so that's kind of, that bothered me a lot when I read that. But anyway, do you have any thoughts? I've talked a lot, Jake. Give me your thoughts on not just this, but anything from Sony. Because there's a lot more beyond just this, but what catches your eye?
I can't wait for the Spider-Verse, because dude, I remember how disappointed I was when I expected that movie to continue where it left off.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa. I felt like Woody in Toy Story.
Come on, let's go to the next episode.
Yeah, episode.
The show was canceled. That's exactly how we feel, yeah.
What?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I for real thought there would be like another 30 to an hour on the end of that movie. So yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for it. I was into it and I was like, wait. No.
Yeah, just when I feel like I'm done, like I'm like, they're never gonna release this movie. They show like a little bit, like they just put a breadcrumb out there, and I'm like, it's like you're like, I swear I'm done with her. I'll never go back to my ex again. In the first text, you're like twiddling your feet on the bed, like, you're right back in it. It's over. Your friends are looking at you like we fought with you through the breakup, and now you're just back. That's me with Sony and
If
Spider-Verse.
you were an AI, I'd purge your code because you're not learning.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel with this. Is like I keep getting my heart broken because they're like summer 2026. Nope, never mind. Summer 2027, and I'm just like, nah. You know, it's like it's like GTA and Rockstar.
Yeah.
Like, are we sure? But then it's like they release a little breadcrumb, and I'm just right back in it. I'm like, I'm there. Like you will have me in a seat when that finally releases. I completely agree.
And then they didn't have. I want another. I'm not talking about Tom Holland's. Weren't they talking about another Spider-Man?
Yes, they did talk about Brand New Day. They talked a lot about how, and so to go back over that again, Tom Holland wasn't in attendance, but his hologram was, which
is odd.
I think it's hilarious. And he described how this version, his fourth iteration into his own franchise, is the most emotional and most grown-up version of Spidey. So I find that, I mean, obviously I feel like that's kind of like a duh, but the fact that they've had to go back to add humor because, and like in theory, it was so dark that once they got like that rough edit,
Leave it
like,
dark.
They were like, "Oh, this is rough. We need to reshoot to add the humor." That I get excited about the prospect of a true to character Peter Parker and not just the MCU version we've gotten. Which isn't to say that this isn't true to form, because Tom Holland's done such a great job, and these stories we've gotten are fantastic. But these have been Boy Scout, like happy version until we lost Tony. And we've been slowly making our way to this moment where we get the full unabashed, as the joke goes, I like my Peter Parker depressed. That been online.
I like him broke, depressed, and alone.
Yeah.
But he needs to be tempted by Black Cat.
Anytime she shows up, bro's just like,
yeah.
He's like,
that's how you make a Spider-Man.
Yeah. We will see.
And Sydney Sweeney plays it.
Sadie Sink might be her.
No.
I don't know. They've not. Did we talk about that recently? I feel like I'm forgetting something about, but they haven't confirmed her character yet. And now that you say Black Cat, that could be who she is. That would actually make a lot more sense than an X-Men.
I don't think she's worn a wig, and so people are leaning more on the fact that she's probably a spider person.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
They'll never get over their multiverse style of doing things. So the very, very
as soon as you go there, you can't go back.
Yeah. Yeah, you introduce the multiverse. Yeah. Looking through, So the only other thing from Sony is they talked about Jumanji 4. They reiterated their December 25th, their Christmas Day opening. It's now titled Jumanji Open World, which I won't even lie. That gets me a little excited because you know the love for open world games that literally everyone who's ever played a video game has. So all four are back. Apparently it was very charming what they showed. The open world title with the Christmas Day release. I'm excited.
Well, they've also got The Legend of Zelda,
which
is a Sony. And then Social Reckoning, right?
There's a few really impressive things. We'll round back to this. We'll bring up some other things later.
Sony.
We are still talking about Sony, but I want to leave some of those for a talking point later, because if we don't, we will never get through these other days and production houses. So we'll move on to the next day, which showed Warner Brothers, the soon-to-be Paramount asset, debuted its new small-budget film label from former Neon execs named Clockwork. Their first film will be Oscar winner Sean Baker's film, which is going to be titled TMO, and is slated for a 2027 release date. Then came a trailer for the Alejandro Inarritu directed and Tom Cruise starring dark comedy titled Digger. According to Deadline, quote, the film follows Cruise, who plays Digger Rockwell, the most powerful man in the world. The balding, big-bellied industrialist races to prove he's humanity's savior before the disaster he unleashes destroys everything, which I'm here. Okay, like this film, the more I see about it, Tom Cruise wearing a prosthetic nose and having a beer belly. I'm pretty sure the dude who played Sully is in this. What is his name? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. No.
Yeah. He played Sully.
Not that Sully. Monsters Inc. Sully. I hate that you did that. John Goodman. I'm pretty sure John Goodman is in this as well. And he's, if I remember correctly, he's the
You mean
president.
the dad from Speed Racer?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. He is listed as an actor. He's the president, and he's like Cruz's character will he got us into this mess, and he'll get us out. So everyone's aware that he caused the problem. But I love like these dark comedies for these apocalyptic type of endings. I love them. Like one of my favorite films of all time is Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove. I hope it follows that type of absurdist humor where it's like the end of the world, but everyone's acting like not like children, but everyone's just acting absurd. I think that that gives me these vibes. That's what this film gives me vibes of. And the more I hear about it, the more excited I am. So according to Inarritu himself, who's the director, again, the film was shot in, quote, VistaVision, only to be seen in theaters. So again, there's a very theatrical, like focused element to it, which is so cool from a director of his caliber. And I just see everything, the comedy, the cruise, like, you know, this is going to be such a banger. You know, this is going to be such a good movie.
You mean John Goodman, like the Flintstones?
Yes. Is that what you were typing over there?
What?
Are you really looking up John Goodman just to find his other roles?
Yeah.
Periodically.
Well, I couldn't remember the sitcom he was part of, but
Roseanne? Not Roseanne. Yeah. Was it Roseanne?
It was Roseanne. Yeah.
Sometimes I lock in. Sometimes I lock in.
I didn't want to toss Roseanne out there, and you've been like, I don't know.
I know what that is.
I wanted something.
Didn't that show have like a revival that got? No, that was someone else. That was another show. But yeah, Roseanne is like one of the most popular sitcoms of all time.
I mean, the guy from the Big Lebowski. I thought he did. Did he? Who did the Goldbergs?
Oh, you're talking about he was in Step Brothers and he was Wreck-It Ralph.
John C. Reilly?
I'm pretty sure John C. Reilly was in the Goldbergs, wasn't he? No?
No.
Was it
Jeff
not?
Garlin?
Oh.
That was what I was thinking of.
Jeff Garlin and John C. Reilly, and I feel like they kind of look alike. Do they? Am I wrong? No?
No.
I was hoping. I don't remember what Garlin looks like, so I was hoping that
I was messing up Garlin and Goodman.
Jeff Garlin.
Yeah.
I mean, you get they're like not really, but like they're like the same type
I think he's closer to Goodman than.
Nah, they're the same type of human. Like,
Reilly.
you know what I mean? Like you look at him, you know what I
Type
mean?
of human.
You know what I mean? Like they're the same archetype. You go home. Those at home will know what I mean.
Maybe.
Anyway, Tom Cruise, John Goodman. I'm pretty sure I also saw
WCast.
Jesse Plemons. Yeah, this has Sandra Hüller, Sophie Wilde. Like this has this is a goated cast, and this seems hilarious. So I look forward to this heavily. This has like I hope that it's like the absurdist cruise that we saw in like Tropic Thunder. Right?
Yeah, like RDJ and.
Let me make sure. What was that character's name? Yeah, Les Grossman. Les Grossman. That's exactly what I hope this is like. Or Grossman. I hope that this is what this is like. Because like that's what this makes me feel like, is that it's just that character, but obviously a little bit more quirks, or a little different quirks. Yeah. And you put him as the wealthiest man on the planet. I'm getting off of this now.
Or
it's one of the wealthiest.
Okay.
Powerful.
Most powerful.
Whatever.
I don't know what that means.
Power.
He's an industrialist, so I guess that is money.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue down the Warner Brothers train because we got a lot here. A new trailer for the Evil Dead Burn film was released at the con. The film was directed by Sebastian Vanacek, who recently directed the spider-centric horror film Infested. We talked about this. Have you seen that, Jake? You said no on the script. Nope. Infested was very popular a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. And it is a spider-led, think like there's like this really old horror film called The Birds, or like whenever you have like a horror film.
I've seen The Birds.
Like Cujo, where it's like the rabid dog, where it's like there's like something in nature that's what this was about, and it was like a spider infestation. But these spiders were, I think they might have been mutated in some way, and it did numbers on the circuit, like in the festival circuits, and it's specifically at Cannes. So saw that one everywhere. This is that same guy. This is his kind of follow up, and he knows how to build an atmosphere. He knows how to build a world, and Evil Dead feels like his perfect area. This feels like he was tailor made in terms of him as a storyteller. Vanacek, he seems like a guy that can take Evil Dead and just absolutely run with it. So I'm super excited for Evil Dead Burn. I'm pretty sure Burn is also produced by Sam Raimi, so he came back. Let me double check that. Let me see here. Sam Raimi. Produced by Sam Raimi. So perfect. So Sam Raimi, the creator of the Evil Dead franchise, is back. Like the goat himself of the horror genre, of the absurdist horror genre. Sam Raimi back in his element, back with this franchise, with a director who has a vision that matches the aesthetic and the style. I'm very excited for Evil Dead. Moving down the line. The label then gave us, so Warner Brothers, then gave us a first look at Carl Urban as Johnny Cage in their soon-to-be-released Mortal Kombat 2, showing Urban's Cage fighting the demonic-looking Baraka, wrapping up with a split-pose victory celebration and everything. So I cannot wait to see Carl Urban hit a splits after defeating Baraka. Do you know a lot about Mortal Kombat?
Not a lot. I played 10 for a little bit, but that's it.
I grew up loving Mortal Kombat. One of my deepest cuts I have is they created this really absurd game called Mortal Kombat versus the DC Universe when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Dude, Batman versus Sub-Zero was goated every single time you played that game. And it was just fun. And so I like that, like opened my eyes to like Mortal Kombat as an extension, like the lore in that and like Raiden and so on and so forth. And the movies that have come out of that have either been hit or miss. Most of them are nostalgically good, but they're not like necessarily good. So the first film in this franchise, in this new iteration, I thought was pretty good. And so I'm very excited to see Carl Urban, who apparently from what I had read is like a very heavy point in this. Is like he's like someone they are very heavily emphasizing is Johnny Cage in this second film. So very excited about it. But we're almost wrapped up with Warner Brothers. We've only got 2 more. So we have new footage from Millie Alcock as Supergirl. She graced the screens for attendees, and she was fighting, or I should say Supergirl was fighting teleporting space pirates. And Alcock was joined on stage by a full costumed Jason Momoa, and this is something I'm really excited for your reaction. He was riding Space Hog.
Space Hog.
Which is his motorcycle.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa in full costume shows up riding the bike, which was, according to MovieWeb, was the loudest. He roared on stage on this bike to join Millie Alcock. Following this, we got a video presentation of James Gunn, David Corenswet, and Nicholas Hoult discussing the, quote, enemies to unlikely alliance aspect of the Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, which we just got news today is now filming. As well as we got the first look at Tom Reese as Clayface, that hit panelist, showing the horrors Reese's character Matt Hagen endures after he takes part in an experiment to make him a better actor. And rounding out the night, we'll go back and talk a little bit here in just 1 second because we got one more talking point from Warner Brothers. Rounding out the night, Warner gave us a first look at Dune Part 3 by showing the film's first 7 minutes with Denis Villeneuve, Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, and Jason Momoa all on tap to give input, so all live on stage. So, Warner Brothers gave us a lot. What stood out to you the most?
Space Hog is freaking huge. I mean, it's on like truck tires.
Yeah.
Mind you. Big old ape hangers. Yet to see his 3 what you call it, guitar.
Yeah.
Got a big old guitar. Yeah, 3-neck guitar, and then he's got a little English bulldog apparently. That's the DC multiverse logo. But yeah, Supergirl is going to be huge. There was another one. Yeah, I don't follow like Carl Urban's. I wouldn't have chosen him, I guess.
He doesn't really look like Johnny Cage. Like that,
No.
that I'll give you.
He does seem to play it okay.
But the thing is think about every character he's ever been.
Yeah.
He has the personality.
Yeah.
Like more than has the personality to make up for not necessarily looking like the character, and that's what gets me excited.
There are others that could have played Johnny Cage.
No, most definitely, but I don't think Carl Urban was a bad choice.
Neil Patrick Harris? That was somebody's fan casting.
No. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine Neil Patrick
I just
Harris?
imagined How I Met Your Mother, Neil Patrick Harris.
That is exactly what they were thinking when they cast him as Johnny Cage. I just don't think Neil Patrick Harris can get, like... The thing is that we've seen Carl Urban like be the gritty and be the fighting and be the goofy. Like we know he can portray that. We know Neil Patrick Harris can be goofy. We ever seen him in like an action movie? I feel like he'd look awkward.
Have you watched the Smurfs?
I like the last thing I remember seeing him in was I don't know, I feel like I've said it before, but for those who are new, I like Doctor Who. And he was the villain in the late, like one of the, or like late, most recent, I should say, Doctor Who series. He was, what was his name? He was not the, hold on, let me look at.
Have you seen Smurfs 2?
Just continues to go down all the Smurf movies he's been in.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Okay, he was in Starship Troopers. I did not know that. He's a doctor.
He played the
Smurfs, the
Toymaker,
Lost
that's
Village.
right. Which he was very like, he was menacing, but more of like the Toymaker wasn't like a physically, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't someone that scared you physically. He was someone who his mind games and the way that he toyed with his Toymaker, but toyed with his victims, I will say. That's what made him somewhat intimidating until they got to kind of his resolution. He's a god of like, he has to go by the rules of play is like how they defeated him. Is like he has to like, if you set like a game rules, he can't break them. So like that's like his limitation is that like he's the Toymaker. He can like morph reality and like, because he's technically like a god figure, so he can do whatever he wanted. But if you said, hey, we're playing catch, and if you drop it, you lose, he has to abide by the rules you set. And he lost. I'm making that up. That's genuinely how the Doctor defeated him. But anywho, Neil Patrick Harris. He was in the Matrix. Neil Patrick Harris, I understand why they fan cast him as like a swagger, but I don't think he has. Swagger. The point of Mortal Kombat is the physical prowess and the fighting, right? Like that's literally like Mortal Kombat. That's like the whole point. So I think Carl Urban fits that a lot better.
What about Glenn Powell?
Kidding. Glenn Powell would have unironically probably been a really good cast for that. But I don't know. I feel like he's too, like, there's a level of like too mainstream that like, you know, like I feel like Carl Urban is just niche enough and just seasoned enough in similar roles to play the character perfectly.
So, but we did get a first look at Clayface.
I'm so happy you transitioned there, because that was going to be the thing I really wanted to talk about, because apparently like audiences in attendance from the reports that we have here were shocked. They were taken aback by some of the things they were getting away with. There was one moment where apparently, so the whole thing with Hagen is that he's an actor, he's a down and out actor, and he takes part in this experiment to help him morph his face to be whatever character he wanted to be, right? And for acting roles, and that's what turns him into Clayface in this film. And apparently in this trailer that they show, like he goes to wipe his face because his face is like melting and there's a void. Like he wipes so much that there's just a void that they look into. And apparently audiences went, oh, like when they saw it, they all went, oh. So this is going to be a true traditional horror film in the DC universe. And that or I guess like in Elseworlds, but you know what I mean? That excites me.
Interesting. I see a Reddit photo of him that I don't think we're allowed to show because it's pretty bloody. They've got him in a like a Phantom of the Opera style looking, like you remember I guess it was Wonder Woman 1 where that lady had a fake face plate.
Yeah.
They've got him in one of those, and I don't know if that's for the makeup or if that was. He's got a little mask going on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
At some point, he has to. Yeah, that is pretty gory. He has to like learn his ability and be able to mimic these people. Like he gets what he wants, just not in the way he wants it.
I think we're not going to see like the comic book looking Clayface as much as we're going to see something else, I think. Maybe we will. I don't know. I don't see the teeth.
Well, this is such an early look. I just don't think that we've even gotten to see that. I do think there are some pretty staunch accuracies from some comic books. Like from what I'm looking at, there's a for Tom Reese as like with the bandages on that looks kind of similar to a comic book panel.
And
We'll
the
see.
Batman.
We'll see. I'm curious to see like what elements they bring in because again, if this is in the Elseworlds, will it be Pattinson? You know, like or is this supposed to be in the DC universe?
No.
Oh no, he says.
Pattinson.
So, is there anything in particular that like of those, which one stood out to you the most?
I saw a lot of comments talking about who's gonna go see Dune Part 3, Doomsday Goated, and I'm like, y'all are crazy.
Let's get down to Disney.
Disney slop.
Let's get down to Disney, and then we'll probably have a little bit more of information why people are saying that because there's something Disney did outside of the film that might make that more interesting for
They
people
was
to go
blasting people.
Well, I started blasting. Says
Yeah.
Anyway. Amazon MGM. We'll talk about them next. Amazon took the time to share that they had nothing to share about their rendition of James Bond, with the Amazon MGM head of film, Courtney Valenti, stating, quote, "That film is coming, and when the time is right, we'll have much more to share." They took the stage. They walked up on stage in front of all these panelists and of all these people and attendees to say, we have nothing. we're taking our time. So I guess news is good news. Like any news is good news, but nothing more than that. Mel Brooks joined the stage in a pre-filmed video to unveil the new title for the upcoming Spaceballs sequel, which you might have seen at home, named The New One. I think that's awesome. I think that's sick.
I saw the video and he sold it.
He did. I think that's
like,
sick.
I found the money. It was in my basement.
Yeah.
It's just a stack of cash.
Yeah. I mean,
in your basement.
Whole point of the series is to be a Star Wars spoof and to circumvent expectations. And I think that them setting up their own sequel name just to not go with that, I think is such a funny punchline. And I'm here for it. So I'm excited for the new one to come out. And I love that that's the actual title. Moving on very quickly, Anne Hathaway and Dakota Johnson will star in the next Colleen Hoover adaptation named Verity. After handing out foam power swords to attendees, Masters of the Universe star Nicholas, please forgive me, Galitzine, Nicholas Galitzine, walked onto the stage with the real, quote-unquote, real power sword in hand, joined by director Travis Knight, who gave audiences their first look at the film, including, quote, footage that captured the original cartoon's aesthetic, including a first glimpse of He-Man going toe-to-toe with Skeletor. Are we excited about He-Man? Are we excited about Masters of the Universe? No?
No. Oh, my dad might be.
I kind of am.
What?
We talked about this before on the show. My mom.
He now likes Jared Leto.
No, but
confirmed.
No.
He liked Tron.
I did like Tron, but I don't think
confirmed.
I didn't think he was the problem with that, but we'll move on. I look forward to seeing what they do with this up-to-date version. I'm excited. Like I grew up, my mom, for my birthday, I was like 9. I had no idea what it was, but she got me there was like a newer series that came out like 2003 or 4 that had like updated whatever. It wasn't the 80s cartoon, but it was like a newer version even then of He-Man. And I enjoyed it fairly well. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the biggest He-Man fan, but like I did like that certain season. So who knows? Like I'm interested to see what they do with it, and I'm excited to see how that fandom, regardless of how old they are, how they respond to the film. And lastly, from Amazon MGM, a first look at the Henry Cavill and Russell Crowe starring Highlander reboot was shown to those in attendance. We have anything else to say about Amazon?
I do not.
All right, let's move down the line. We got 2 more big ones before we start asking questions. Paramount starts off their day by showing a few video game adaptations. The now mega studio gave a first look at Legendary's Mortal Kombat 2, which again we had talked about earlier. I don't know why that was up earlier. I feel like that should have been down here. I feel like on different sources they were in different places. That's odd. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that is a Warner Brothers, but we'll have to check because it should not be in Paramount. Maybe I'll have to check Deadline because I feel like that came from Deadline that they showed Mortal Kombat. But anywho.
That'd be a Warner bro.
Yeah, I don't know why that was in the source I gave. I'm going to get rid of that. But anyway, they also showed some interesting updates for their upcoming Call of Duty adaptation, which was written by Taylor Sheridan of Yellowstone and will be directed by Peter Berg, who did Lone Survivor, Battleship, and Hancock, which Battleship is so bad it's good. Lone Survivor, obviously, for those who enjoy that war-torn type of film, a good film. And Hancock, an underrated one-off superhero movie with Will Smith. I will say Peter Berg loves him some oh my gosh, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
If you look at his filmography, he's got like 4 films that he's had Mark Wahlberg star in. But he is also someone who has a lot of history and a lot of experience doing like the war films. So I like Taylor Sheridan as a writer, and I guess Peter Berg as a director. I would have liked someone a lot more established to take a shot at the I hope it's Modern Warfare. Like they've not really said what storyline they're following. They just do Call of Duty. I hope it's Modern Warfare, and if it is Modern Warfare, I would have liked to have seen a bigger director take the charge than Peter Berg. I'm not really the biggest Peter Berg fan because I feel like his movies are just meh. Like when you watch his films, like when you look at his filmography, which one of his films do you watch and you look at and you say that guy stands out? You know, like
How do
Lone
you spell
Survivor,
it?
Peter Berg, Berg.
I mean, Battleship,
Oh come on, so bad it's good. Like I will agree.
Hancock,
Hancock's okay, like underrated, I will say.
The Rundown.
Okay, now
What
see
the
that's what I'm talking
bro?
about. That's what I'm talking about.
What's begun here?
Not that I don't want to undersell his work. I would have loved to have seen a higher caliber director take charge of a film franchise that I hope will be good. You know, that's kind of what I was. That's only where I'm coming from.
I'll find another one.
Oh, he's still going.
Serena,
Yeah.
the documentary about Serena Williams.
Did he direct that?
He's attached to it somewhere.
He's probably a producer or whatever.
Executive producer, mind you.
Good for him.
Lars and the Real Girl. What are you doing that? He's attached to it.
You know,
It was a
I'm
goated movie.
I feel like you're proving my point more and more.
That was a good movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, Top Gun 3 was revealed to be in the works, with rumors swirling that the returning Tom Cruise was set to make $40 million for his services as the lead of Top Gun 3, and new footage of the next rendition of Scary Movie was shown. David Cornsweet was revealed to be starring in a upcoming biopic type called Mr. Irrelevant, the John Truggle story, which is one of the most legendary last picks. So Mr. Irrelevant in sports is the last pick of a draft. So they dub them Mr. Irrelevant, and very rarely do they actually become something. But when they do, being the last pick of a draft is and being a success story is a big deal. So John Truggle, from what I understand, I think NFL was one of the earliest to do so, to become a star athletically and be the last pick in a draft. So you're going to have David Cornsweet in a Paramount production portraying John Truggle. Johnny Depp made an appearance to talk all things Ebenezer: A Christmas Carol and more. And the biggest surprise from Paramount, however, came when CEO David Ellison took the stage to look attendees, quote, directly in the eye to promise his commitment to a 45-day theatrical window and at least 30 films released a year when/if Paramount merges with Warner.
Huh.
Do we really believe that?
You?
I don't know. I feel like they have, if they keep them separate, they have the power to do so. Like they have the guns to pull it off in terms of production. But the thing is, when they merge, they're gonna immediately try to make that profitable. So what's gonna happen? Jobs are gonna get cut, right? So then you're eating into your manpower, you're eating into your artillery that allows you to make 30 films a year. And then it gets to the point, like we talked a lot about anime on the show. What is the one thing that ruins good anime houses?
One animator.
Overworked, little deadline. And I feel like if you're Paramount and you're promising these returns in terms of quality, like 45-day theatrical windows for 30 plus films a year. But if you're slashing jobs, that means more people are going to have to wear more hats, which when you do that, that's when things slip through the cracks, and that's when problems happen. So I worry that if and when that happens, because I'm a big Warner Brothers fan, I won't lie, which is why I've been so attached to this story as it's been developing, why I'm so upset that we're having this possibility, right? Will we start to see like DC? We'll talk about Marvel. Marvel's dealing with budget cuts and loss of jobs right now. Well,
Yeah.
we see that happen to DC. I'm not going to say it's happened to James Gunn, but if James Gunn doesn't have the budget to produce and the manpower to make things happen, then we don't get Superman. So I have fears.
As long as the Batman's okay.
I could care less. I just
I haven't
want
seen
to.
Superman.
I'm going to show up to your house and with that in tow, physically, and where are you going to watch?
I'm not there.
I'm going to tie you down and make you watch Superman. I'm a punk rocker. Yes, I am. You'll feel like a better person afterwards.
All right.
That is a
You
threat.
tell everybody that?
Only you, baby girl. Only you. Anyway, our last major production house of the day, I should say, we have still Universal to come, but they didn't have as much in terms of big news. So the last major news piece here we'll have today comes from Disney. Starting with Jon Favreau, who gave a first look at The Mandalorian and Grogu. He showed the first 18 minutes. 18
Just giving it away for free.
minutes. The first 18-minute sequence of this film, which earned an applause and awes from the crowd. Apparently
Great.
received very well. Apparently people liked it. Apparently when Grogu walked on stage, there was a audible pop from the audience as they saw him and they liked what they saw. So hopefully that is true and it's a good film because I need another good Star Wars
Was the
movie.
audience filled with my mom and like-minded
Yeah.
middle-aged women?
Disney adults, just straight, just we're going to they're all wearing the ears. Yeah, like just
Which my mom's not a Disney adult, but like she likes Grogu because Grogu is
cute.
cute and
Yeah.
small and powerful and whatnot. But I'm like, oh yeah, I wish that guy could do a lot more. I understand he's young.
This should have been like 3 years ago. That's that's where I am with this. I think we made that point last week. Is just like I feel like we're past
We're
the
milking
point.
this.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is a
yeah.
milk.
Yeah.
I
look
want to
forward-
see like Grogu grown up
Yeah.
or
I look forward-
teenager.
They're teasing that. They're teasing like Mandalorian openly says like I will not always be here to protect him. But yeah, like we should be beyond this point.
Get on with it.
Yeah. Anyway, Tim
Yeah.
Allen.
Show me more of that. Show me more of you not being here protecting him.
Yeah. Yeah, Pedro, go home. Anyway.
Okay.
Tim Allen and Tom Hanks took the stage to discuss their upcoming Toy Story 5, and I'm pretty sure it was also revealed that Woody has a beer belly.
What are we doing? what are we doing, chat?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Should have ended at 3.
Apparently the
Stand by
joke was that like he had like stuffing, like it wasn't like obviously like I don't know.
His stuffing move.
Yeah, like he was I can't even
But he has a
begin.
poncho.
He does
That's
have a
cool.
poncho. He's balding. Apparently he raises up the poncho and he has a noticeable beer belly. Like I think that he's probably just like lost stuffing and he's found more and stuffed it in and it like makes him look fat. But they are really milking.
This is like, why are we toppling the greats?
I don't know.
Like, why
It-
why is Woody, who was the main character?
Yeah. It's
Right?
not Jesse apparently, right? Like Jesse and Buzz.
I
are
don't know
supposed to
about
be the
this movie,
leads.
but like we are actively making Woody the butt of the joke.
Yeah. I you talk about toppling greats. This really does feel like whenever you go and visit like or what I haven't done this, but like I can only imagine what would be a similar feeling of like you see these ancient Roman Colosseums or these giant, magnificent, once in a lifetime like monoliths or statues, and it's like you're walking and it's in the rain and you're seeing them crumble. It's like age has demolished them because there's been no upkeep. In this case, it feels the same. Disney has allowed nature to run its course over these great monoliths that were Toy Story, and they've allowed the story to continue, and it just feels like we're watching the statues crumble. Now, this could come out and be a great movie. Like we could be completely in the wrong, but it does feel like they're trying way too hard to relate to like I don't want to say millennials, but like what did you just like hit like a mean rift there for a second? It sounded like you just went
It's my first car drive by that's been caught on
Wow. Yeah.
pod.
Heard like you
That
pulled
was
out like a
loud.
guitar.
Oh, it was very
Yeah.
loud.
It heard like it felt like you just pulled out a guitar and just went like very quickly.
Like, you guys, if anybody out there knows anything about audio, I've got like a crazy noise gate and denoiser running, and it still broke that.
That's crazy.
That's how loud it was, because it was loud
Yeah.
in my room, and I was like, I wonder if they can hear
I
that.
definitely heard it.
That's nuts. What were we talking
Yeah.
about? Oh yeah,
What were
toppling
you
the
talking about?
statues of the
Yeah.
greats. I mean, I don't know if it started here, but I did not care for the ending of Cars 3. And I recently saw the test of the other ending that they had where it
Oh
was
yeah, the storyboards
not a
were
s-
released.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a spoiler, so I can say it's like he is kicked off of the number 95. Rusty's was bought out. That's kind of the plot of the movie. But this ending, he's stripped of the stickers. It's given to the alternative character or the second main character. But then he's picked up by Dynaco, right? He's picked up and he races, and I would assume he lets the secondary character win. But he still races, right? He's still ready. He beats Jackson Storm.
And he lets his protege, who is now the Rusty's sponsor, win. That would have been a better story.
And instead of taking the loss, saying, I'm not good enough after training.
But you understand, I didn't think it was bad. I will concede that that's a better story. You know why, though? He's following Doc. He was following Doc Hudson. That was the whole point. Because remember, who was his crew chief when he came back after Radiator Springs? It was Doc Hudson. Bro didn't get it.
Not what I watched those movies for.
No, you're right. Like, it definitely, Lightning is the main
training,
character.
the Rocky training arc. No, that was literally like I don't know. Like, I understand the story, but I didn't care for it. Not with Lightning, because I held him up there.
I will concede that that is a better story. I still think Cars 3 was a good story. I will not.
I understand why.
I thought it was cute, and when you talk about like a way to end a franchise, that was a optimal way to send off that character, was to say like you are following in the footsteps, especially after Cars 2. Like the way Cars went from 1 to 3 was how Toy Story should have ended after 3.
I agree. Toy Story should have ended at 3.
Like, let the characters run off into the sunset. Now I know Disney's doing like for like little kindergartners, or like they're putting out like a kids version. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
The internet's up in arms because Mater's already rusted as like a baby, and also we see Mater meet Lightning in Cars 1 after they're grown, and he's already racing and winning. So it's like weird that they now are together in Radiator Springs as like babies. But like, whatever. I could care less about that. In my mind, the franchise is already done. Like that franchise is over. And I love how they did it. Like, I will concede that is a better ending, with allowing Lightning to finally fulfill his Dynaco, because that's kind of like a Chekhov's gun that they like allowed to kind of write off, where he was like, nah, I'm going to stick with Rusty's. But if Rusty's decides they're bought out and that company decides to go with someone younger, why would Dynaco, who's been wanting him from the beginning, not go for him?
And Dynaco's whole point was not because Lightning would win every race. Yeah. Dynaco is a brand that that's the point of that brand. Like, the freaking owner is a Cadillac with bull horns.
Yeah.
Like, it's not necessarily, I mean, yes, they were winning, but it's old men kind of deal, I guess, is the whole point. Was Dynaco is the, I don't know, what can you even attribute it to?
Well,
I don't watch NASCAR.
They also were like, hey, like, if you ever change your mind, we're here. Like they were also very like they were very parental to Lightning as well. Like in that short time that they shared together, they were like, hey, like, if you change your mind, we'll be here. But like they were very like Doc to him, but not Doc. You know what I mean? So I agree that would have been a better ending. But again, this all relates to Toy Story in the sense of they did a good job with ending Cars. They had a better way to end Cars, but I still think that Cars, the franchise, had a great ending. Whether it's the Lightning becomes Doc, or Lightning finally gets to fulfill his wish of being the Dynaco sponsor, doesn't matter. They did it well, and Toy Story lost the plot. Anywho, at least from early showings, and I understand why people are up in arms. Let's go ahead and move on through the rest of Disney. Dwayne Johnson gave new footage of the upcoming Moana live-action adaptation with new animated films. So moving on from Moana, new animated films Hexed and Ice Age Boiling Point were both teased. Now, Hexed stars Haley Steinfeld and Rashida Jones, and Boiling Point will be the first film in the Ice Age franchise or in like 10 years and since Blue Sky got bought, since Fox got bought. So another milk. Disney is just milk. They got the cows out there. Disney is the epitome of the skinny cow with that political cartoon where it's like the guy's got the buckets. He's like, "It's time, Bessie," and the cow's like all sad. That's what's happening right now. Bring back Ice Age. Bring back Toy Story. Like, let's make a live action Moana. Like, anywho. What's most interesting, however, is the company's commitment to their December 18th collision course with Warner Brothers' Dune 3. Okay, not only did they bring Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and directors Joe and Anthony Russo to talk about the film, they confirmed that release date with Dune 3. They're not moving. A lot of questions were, will Disney move off December 18th? Will they move to December 11th? That Sony vacated when they moved Jumanji to December 25th. They're not. They doubled down, but following, right, their commitment to the December 18th date. Because a lot of people were like, hey, you're falling behind. Warner not only took the IMAX screens, but they sold out the 70 millimeter in hours, 8 months before the film's supposed to release. What are you going to do? They confirmed their December 18th date, but then they launched what they call Infinity Vision, which, according to Deadline, is, quote, in collaboration with global theater partners, the new premium large format, or PLF, certification signifies a theater meets rigorous technical standards for the ultimate moviegoing experience. Infinity Vision theaters are outfitted with the largest screens for maximum scale, superior laser projection for brightness. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen, and clarity, as well as fully immersive premium audio formats. So they're like trying to one up IMAX. And this has not been something that's been in the works for a short amount of time. It's been something they've been doing for a while to already have these formats, to already have these like kind of guidelines for what Infinity Vision is. So then they show a trailer for what they have so far for Doomsday. We saw Doctor Doom, Professor X, Shang-Chi, Mystique, Thor, Gambit, and the Fantastic Four, as they give us a little taste of their character catalog going into this film. It's a direct sequel to Endgame. They're re-releasing Endgame, or maybe there's talks of re-releasing Endgame prior to this to kind of allow people to get back familiar with the storyline that they're telling. Does this mean that everything that was this last phase is just non-existent?
Yeah, they definitely retconned everything, didn't they?
That's crazy.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I read that somewhere where it was like, oh, so the ending of Endgame isn't actually the ending of Endgame, or they added something to Endgame or something. Like, the actual ending was added onto, I think is what.
Yeah. So Spider-Man obviously is going to stay canon. Fantastic Four is canon. Shang-Chi's canon.
Yeah.
But in come the X-Men. And so the Eternals, not the Elementals, the Eternals, not canon.
Yeah.
She-Hulk?
I don't think they want that to be
canon. Well, the only reason I ask is because Hulk in Spider-Man 4, or Bruce Banner in Spider-Man 4, he has, like, there are things that obviously carried over. You know?
Yeah.
Does Haley Steinfeld come back as Hawkeye? Like, those are questions that I have that I'd be interested for. I've been giving this film, like Disney and Doomsday, a lot of crap. I'm going to go see it. Like, I'm not I'm not too high and mighty to admit that. We're going to probably double feature it and review both and compare them in December. Like, just keep that in mind. But there are things I'm fascinated by. I want to see one in IMAX and one in Infinity Vision, if Infinity Vision is nearby.
Yeah.
I hope there's one nearby. We'll see.
Is there a map out yet?
I don't think so. Do you have any thoughts on this, by the way, while you're looking that up? Specifically Infinity Vision and Doomsday.
I'm watching Dune 3 before I watch Doomsday. I don't care. I don't care what the comments are saying. I am into Dune far more than I am into the Marvel. Like I haven't seen anything recent. Like it's all Disney slop. I'll say it. Disney slop. So, I'm trying to find. It's not IMAX.
No, it's definitely not. But this is their way to try to pull in viewers away from IMAX while they compete. And I'm not finding any list. They probably don't have them yet.
Are they retrofitting current theaters? Are they building theaters?
I think that what this will be is like Infinity Vision is theaters that fit all of these certain specs. So it's not IMAX, so it probably will end up being a step down, but they're saying like these are the best theaters to see it in if not IMAX. Because there's no way they're building new theaters.
They're focusing on vertical height. Has to be laser projected. Because they're HDR heavy, of course. And they have to have spatial audio that rivals Atmos.
I would like to see this. I would like to go see it in Infinity Vision. I want to see them in how they're being displayed.
I think it requires us to actually have experienced IMAX.
Have you ever gone? I just
not
saw
a
Hail
real
Mary
one.
in IMAX.
I did not.
Well, you're in for.
I watched it on a regular screen as God intended.
We're gonna go. There's
Small
where I
Town
live.
Life.
There's a Regal with an IMAX in it. We'll go watch that here.
Still don't think we watched an IMAX together.
No, we haven't.
Nosferatu was.
We should. No, Nosferatu was not. I think that was D-Box. There were way too many.
I don't remember what I saw Avatar in. I think I saw Batman in a regular, but Avatar: Way of Water might have been. I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like the 70 millimeter IMAX. I'm talking like huge.
I don't think I've
closest
ever.
to us is like Nashville.
Yeah, I've never seen a 70 mil, but I have seen IMAX, which is near me. But there is no 70 millimeter near us. I think there's one in Indiana.
Not showing Project Hail Mary. Oh wait, no, Indianapolis. Oh yeah, that's actually not that far.
Indianapolis has one. So the closest to us, if you're keeping track of the docks meter is about it's if like a radar detector, like it's going. That's like that's where we're at with the docks meter. We're given cities near us, and you know like our
Right.
You can just about triangulate where we are. But anyway, anything else from
We get
Disney
to
before we
Nashville?
move on?
Nashville's a 4-hour trip. No.
Okay.
Doxed.
We have just a few others before we move on here. Neon, G-Kids, and Toho. That was another few that displayed some information. Godzilla Minus One director Takashi Yamazaki took the stage to show off his first look at his next film, Godzilla Minus Zero, which I love. I love Toho Godzilla. I think I've said it on the show before. I hate American version of Godzilla. I do not like the MonsterVerse. I don't like the way that we project these kaijus. Like, just let Toho make them. Just leave it alone. Because if you want to experience real Godzilla, watch Shin Godzilla. Watch Minus Zero. You know, go back from the Japanese versions of these characters. Because that is the sickest way to watch. I think Shin is super, super underrated. I love everything that they come out with. And so I'm so excited for Minus Zero. It takes place in New York. There was a scale of how big he got compared to the first one. He dwarfs the Statue of Liberty in this new one, which, giant robot. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I like giant robots. I like Pacific Rim.
Big lizard.
I like Gundams. These are fun to me, and it scratches a part of my brain, and I'm so excited. Again, the MonsterVerse, no bueno. I don't like the robot-armed buddy cop King Kong in Godzilla. If you said it earlier in a way that I'm gonna steal from you and phrase it, I like my kaijus fighting each other with no real thought other than survival, like God intended. If King Kong and Godzilla are gonna fight each other, or they're gonna be in the same movie, they better just be going at each other because they just want to. Now why are they on this random planet or this interior Earth, Middle Earth?
Why are they friends?
Why are they friends? I do not understand this. This is such a westernized culture thing, and I hate it. I do not like it. I understand there's a part of it that people are like, but it's fun. And I can get that. I respect that. Movies are meant to be fun. And I can respect that. I can calm down if you think it's fun and you just enjoy that. But I digress. I do not like it. And I'm excited for -0. That's literally all I have to say. Yamazaki is a Oscar winner for best VFX or visual effects. So, yippee! I'm excited for this one.
And he does it cheat.
Yeah. Go watch Shin and go watch -0 or -1. Sorry. To do yourself a favor, if you like those things, watch them because you will not be disappointed. Anyway, Universal and Focus Features is how we're going to round out today. The Odyssey footage was shown. So Nolan's next film, we got to see a little bit of the Odyssey, which shows their ever-famous Trojan horse, and audiences got their first look at Charlize Theron as Calypso, and a confirmation that Nolan's next masterpiece will be under 3 hours long. So for those who are wondering, the runtime, which, as we said, Gen Z doesn't really seem to bother about runtime. We talked about that last week. Go watch last week's episode if you're curious what I mean by that. Not going to be too long, under 3 hours, to see the modern day version of the Odyssey. Moving on, Illumination's next Minions film, titled Minions and Monsters, will be released, and it shows kind of like a Hollywood. Minions go to Hollywood, and they take over Hollywood, and they release a monster. For those wondering. And we got our first look at Robert Eggers' upcoming horror tentpole titled Werewolf, which apparently was really freaky. And lastly, Disclosure Day. Steven Spielberg was on tap, on stage, to answer questions about his upcoming film, got to show a few more things, and I love a good Spielberg, so I'm very excited. So that's all that we saw from this past weekend at CinemaCon. Which studio gave us the most to be excited about, Jake? If you had to guess, if you had to look at one and you were like, hey, this one gave me the most excitement, which one?
Disney, yay!
Yay, Disney! Why? Why do you have mouse ears on?
I don't.
No, I'm just very curious.
I don't. I'm making fun.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I want anything with the Batman. I guess Warner Bros. Digger's fun. Supergirl's sure. I didn't watch Superman, but yeah. And then I guess Dune. Yeah, Dune and the Batman. Those I am itching. I'm itching.
Yeah.
And then they've got no, never mind.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I forgot. Moving on.
It's okay. No, I think you're exactly right in saying Warner Brothers. I think that they have the most interesting. I think just going beyond the two that you named, which is Digger and Batman, which I mean, or like more
and
DC,
Clayface, yeah,
more DC
right?
stuff.
DC,
yeah. DC and Tom Cruise and Inarritu and yada yada. But like when I look, I see Evil Dead Burn. I see Clockwork as a new small budget indie film from Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers assets get to go to these smaller filmmakers like Sean Baker, who's obviously an Oscar, multi-time, 4-time, if I remember correctly, Oscar winner from Anora, from not this past year, but the year before. But I like Mortal Kombat and just all of these different, just again, Dune 3. So I think Warner Brothers gave me the most to be excited about, but following closely behind that for me was Sony. I don't think anyone compares to those two. Paramount was kind of a letdown. I think that the others like Paramount and Disney are just milk for me, like cash cows for me. They're just milking old franchises, or they're coming up with, like, again, promising stuff that we won't really see for a while. So I love Zach Cregger's and Resident Evil, all things Spider-Man. Just, I mean, and I will have the problem with Rothman, but his outlet did give me something to be really excited about. So those are kind of the two that stuck out to me the most. So Jake, as I go back to my questions here, is there any project in particular? I know you named a few Warner Brothers, but is there something that you look at and you say, that is the thing I'm most excited about?
Yeah, it's basically Clayface and the Batman, and then Dune, and then Spider-Man, Spider-Verse. So
yeah, I'm not the most excited for this, but He-Man, I find that one fascinating. I'm excited to see what they do with that as
because
a
of
story.
Skeletor.
Right. You know me. No, I'm just excited to see what they do with that franchise as they reboot it. And lastly, is there something that maybe we didn't talk about because there's so much they revealed so much? Is there something that you look at when you look at our sources, when you look at pieces of news that we might have gone over that you're like, man, that has me excited and that we just didn't go over?
Yeah, there was one in this list. You did mention Call of Duty's got one coming out.
Mm-hmm.
A Quiet Place Part 3. Krasinski's directing that. That's coming back potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you mentioned that. Fokker-in-Law.
Isn't Ariana Grande in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume it's a sequel prequel to Meet the Fockers.
Mm-hmm.
Cat in the Hat's finally coming out. Ryan, you want to go see that?
No way. Isn't that Bill Hader too?
I think so. Super
Yeah.
Troopers 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem 2.
That's a Paramount. And another Paramount one I didn't mention is Sonic 4.
And Angry Birds 3. I don't think that's Paramount.
Nah.
It is.
Although I did see something that was really
It is
funny. It was from
Paramount.
Screen Thrill. That was that Red from Angry Birds Sex Life is Better Than Yours because he has a kid in the third one. Like he's got a child. That's like the story is that
Oh my gosh.
Red had a kid. And I think that's one of the funniest headlines I'd ever seen.
And then there's Ghostbusters 3.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway.
Yeah, when I look through this, I think the one thing that really gets me excited is, like, again, going back to Sony, did we mention Zelda? We mentioned it just a little bit as we were reading through it.
Sony has a Zelda, yeah.
I look forward to seeing how they adapt that. And the early showings from that was so, again, picturesque, beautiful. The characters fit what they're adapting really well. Look forward to Zelda. And then as I look through here, Hexed was interesting, but not really anything that catches my eye too much. The Social Reckoning, will that one be what the first one was? David Fincher isn't coming back. The writer, I can't remember, Andy something, I think. The writer who originally, he penned the first one, but David Fincher directed it. He took the mantle of director in the sequel. Can he perform at the level of Fincher? Doubt, because Fincher is probably the best world builder that we've seen in a very long time. One of them, if not the best, in terms of just building worlds and telling stories. So I worry about that one a lot. But again, just going down through here and looking through the others that
The
are
Dog
coming.
Stars.
No. Like A
Jacob
Quiet
Elordi,
Place,
Margaret Qualley, Josh Brolin.
going back to like just milking franchises, Paramount announced A Quiet Place Part 3. I don't think 2 was better than 1, and I don't think their spin-off was great. I just think that they're just milking franchises at this point. But yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff to be interested in. But if I had to pick one that I look at that I'm like, man, like outside of what we've already listed, I would say it has to be, oh gosh, I lost it. It was on here somewhere. Sorry, I'm scrolling through here and I'm trying to make sure that I'm not missing.
It's okay. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I'm not going to find it. Zelda. That's what I was talking about. It would be Zelda. But anyway, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get to segment 3? We're running long, so we're going to do a quick.
We've kept these guys long.
Let's do an expedited segment 3. So coming up after the break, we're going to talk. We're going to talk what you should know before you go. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You've made it to segment 3, which is always what you should know before you go. Our quick hit segment where we read the rest of what happened this past week that might be beyond the major headlines. We want to make sure you are as informed as possible, and we want to make sure that we get you everything that you might have missed. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick expedited where we have 5 quick pieces of information I'm going to read. We're going to talk about the ones that interest us the most, and then we're going to get out of here. But before I do that, thank you so much for being here. I always like to take this moment every single week to just give appreciation for you watching at home, for you allowing us to do this, for us to come together and do this thing with 2 of my best friends is some of the best moments of my life, and I'm so thankful that you allow me to do this in a way that you allow us to share our opinions and to share our passions and just have fun, just goof off for an hour and a half or closer to 2 hours now every single week. So thank you so much for allowing us to be here. And like, comment, subscribe, follow. Everything you do, share, really helps us out a lot. So we appreciate you. We love you. And thank you for sticking with us this long. And with that out of the way, let's get to the end of this episode with our quick hits. What you should know. Charles Dance of Game of Thrones fame has officially been cast in the Batman Part 2. Rumors swirl that he will play the father of Harvey Dent. So Charles Dance, played the father Lannister. So a very menacing, very evil character in Game of Thrones. And this feels like a character that was tailor-made because this character was so hard to cast for reasons like that. Was Brad Pitt turned it down. A few other, Josh Brolin maybe turned it down. Maybe I'm thinking wrong, but there were another there was like a litany of high-end actors who turned it down because this character is very abusive and very hard to portray. So Charles Dance feels like the guy to pull that off.
I don't know who Charles Dance is.
Once you see his face, if you've seen Game of Thrones, you'll know.
Oh,
exactly.
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's evil.
Yeah. He's a very good fit.
Agreed.
Any other thoughts?
I didn't know. I don't know anything about Harvey Dent's father, but I assume he'll do well.
Very nice.
No idea.
What do you know? Do you know anything?
No, I'm not very familiar with the story, but I am excited because, again, we have Sebastian Stan playing Two-Face. We have Charles Dance playing his dad. Scarlett Johansson is playing, I'm pretty sure has been loosely confirmed to be playing Harvey Dent's wife. So we've got this idea coming around, and we're going to get some origin story for Harvey Dent.
Not Rachel.
A young Rachel. No,
Rachel!
not that Rachel. Not me. Why me? Yeah, no, not that version of the character.
Oh.
But I'm very excited. Anyway, we'll go ahead and move down the line. Paramount has officially launched an investigation into who might have leaked their film Aang the Last Airbender after an internal review eliminated the possibility of a hack. So according to their own internal investigations, they said, hey, all of our stuff's strong. No one got in here, so which one of you did it? And the thing is, following this, one, before the leak, there was anger that this film wasn't being released into theaters. Following the leak, the creators are now saying that it should still be released to theaters, and they're using this as as a reason of why. Look, people want to see it. Look, people are upset for us, the creators. You should now release it. You pulled on your collar. I think it's exactly right because one of them did it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, they found out.
Yeah, one of them most definitely leaked it, and now they're gonna get caught. And so I hope they do see the light of day with the theatrical release. I hope that Paramount bends because, come on, like it was supposed to be released anyway, and then they changed their mind. I hate that for the creators all around. I hate that I definitely is a synthetic. Oh, poor us. Our film got leaked. We should release it to theaters because look how people like it. But also
Immediately.
they
Release it immediately.
they had a reason to be mad. I mean, it, and I find this ironic that the company that's like, we'll release 30 films a year theatrically is not allowing this to be released theatrically.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah.
Should not see it.
Anyway,
Any other thoughts?
No. Not coherent ones.
Okay. I'm curious. What are the incoherent ones?
It's the they're not coherent. Sorry.
That's pretty
It is
incoherent.
about it is about The Last Airbender, but I can't put it into words.
Okay.
It's like nope, I can't even try. I'll put it into theaters. I have it.
Okay. Yeah, I leaked it myself. I'm something of a hacker myself, says Jake. But anyway.
Hacker man.
Per Collider, Netflix is making a new adaptation of Roald Dahl's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory titled Charlie versus the Chocolate Factory. Starring Kit Connor and Taika Waititi, the story follows a group of rotten teens as they plan a heist of Wonka. The only issue? Willy himself is fresh out of prison after turning a child into a blueberry.
Huh.
I know a lot of people are not for these types of
Is
adaptations.
it a show? Is it a show?
It's
or
an
is it a
animated movie from what I had seen.
I feel like that's gonna be funny.
I think it'll be sick. I really do. There's a certain image that's floating around that's like a teaser of it. I bet I have it as I'm talking. I'll try and see if I can't throw the image file into StreamYard to show. But yeah, it just seems fun. It just seems like it'll be I don't know. It's just a different take on it, and I look forward to seeing the more, because like the thing about when you think of like Willy Wonka, he's a dark character.
Yeah.
He's a dark character, regardless of what iteration, and I like kind of leaning into that to take a more surreal, more spooky version. I will find this because it is the art on it is very, very appealing to me. So let me find this real quick. Jake, do you have any thoughts?
I look forward to it, except Taika can have some odd humor,
Yeah.
some very millennial humor, I believe.
I think he's acting. I don't know if he's actually making, but here is
Okay.
what it looks like for our visual watchers. This is what was released from the animation.
Definitely looks like something he'd be released from jail. Like,
I
I don't know,
kinda
that's
like
very
it.
funny.
Yeah. I dig it. Just
Yeah.
the aesthetic, you know?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks like Spider-Verse.
Doesn't it? A little bit?
Yeah.
I wonder if Sony Animation's involved in this at all.
It's at Netflix though. I doubt it.
Well, K-Pop Demon Hunters was released on Netflix, and that was made by Sony.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Sony
That's
animators.
what I was going to use as my example, but I didn't know Sony did it.
Yeah, so Sony didn't believe it
Whoops.
would succeed, so they sold it, but the animators still made it, and so Disney released it, or Netflix released
Gotcha.
it. Yeah. Anyway,
Gotcha.
we'll go ahead and move on. I will show this one more time because I do think it's beautiful, and I'm excited to see what it looks like. Because I do, now that I'm looking at it, I do know what you mean. It does look very like that style of animation, K-pop Demon Hunters, which is why I led Sony. But yeah, I'm excited to see what becomes of that. Anyway, moving down the line, we talked about it earlier. We hinted at it. Job cuts. Disney began the process of cutting roughly 1,000 jobs this past week, while hitting most of their biggest entertainment entities like ESPN, like their TV side. Marvel was hit hard in particular, as the majority of the studio's visual development staff was let go, including longtime director of visual development Andy Park, who was the creator of the Marvel look that we see today. That is mostly spearheaded by one man. After 16 years with the company, they fired him. Notably, beyond this, as the Daily points out, not a single job from Disney theme parks was affected. Reminder, the new CEO, Josh D'Amaro, that's where he came from. He gets hired because of how successful he runs Disney theme parks. And the first thing he does, less than 2 months on the job, is fire 1,000 employees from the other side.
Wow.
Not
She
a good
blames
look.
AI.
Not a good look. Oh, most definitely. From what I understood was like they think that with the visual stuff that they can hire like contractors, that they can hire production houses out instead of paying full-time employees and pay it on a production basis. Which I'm not for sure how common that is. I feel like Disney might be one of the few that actually has like a full-time for like one of their entities, a specific team developing that. That could be something like, I know Sony probably has that, but like who else, right? Like does Warner Brothers have that? I doubt it. Does Paramount, soon to be the same thing, I know, but does Paramount have it? I doubt it. Does Universal? Technically they work with Illumination, but Illumination is its own thing, completely separate, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm fascinated to hear what the industry standard is for that. But this seems interesting that the guy shows up and is like, well, I'm not going to fire any of my people, but I'm going to fire 1,000 of these others.
No, Emily was talking about like it's straight up AI generated stuff that put people out of jobs, and he is a big proponent.
He did say not long ago he was a proponent of AI.
Yeah, and saw that 1,000 jobs could be cut for it. I would say.
Yeah, that's sad. Very upsetting if you're a fan. So again, Disney's doing Disney things, and I'm happy to say that I'm on the opposite side of the Disney fandom. I'm a hater. I'll do it. Anywho.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And our last piece of news, the full cast of A24's Elden Ring film has been announced and includes the likes of Kit Connor, Ben Whishaw, Kaylee Spaney, Tom Burke, Nick Offerman, and so many more. The film is going to be directed by Alex Garland with a release date set for March 3rd of 2028. Are we excited for Elden Ring?
I'm excited to see if they do it good. Not necessarily excited to go. Like I played Elden Ring like a little bit, and I was like, Souls-based games are not for me. I learned that quick.
Yeah.
I am not that type of gamer.
So unforgiving.
No, yeah, like I don't memorize attack patterns like that.
That's why you
So,
swing and pray, and then you get it after 68 tries.
right.
Yeah.
I prefer the grind set mindset.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I would rather sink hours into a game to beat a boss than I would be able to solo everything by just hitting it enough times with the base weapon and dodging everything else.
My only real experience with soul-based games was me and my brother during the pandemic. I was in college and he was in high school, and we were locked in our house together. And so the way our house was laid out was me and him. Me and him are the oldest siblings, right? So you had our parents upstairs and you had our two younger siblings up there, and then it was us downstairs in the basement. We had two bedrooms down there. So we literally had like the whole basement to ourselves. It was kind of like a pad. It was pretty cool. So we were like, the upstairs all got sick all at the same time. They all got COVID. And because we were separate downstairs, we didn't. So we locked ourselves downstairs and we were like, you cannot come down here. Like we will order, like you order groceries and we'll come get the ones that are for us. Like we had our own mini fridge down there. We ended up ordering like a stovetop, like that you can plug in. Like we literally had we were completely locked off. We said, we do not want you guys to get us sick. So during that time we were bored.
You were sharing air, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. But you know what's crazy? Didn't get sick. We did not get sick. But
those HEPA filters or whatever.
I don't know. When we were down there, we were bored and we played Demon Souls 3. Or maybe it was 1.
Dark Souls?
Not Demon Souls, Dark Souls. It was Dark Souls, sorry.
Right,
we played Dark Souls 1 or 3, I don't remember. And oh my gosh, we hated our lives for like a day. We tried really hard. And I feel like if I wasn't in that environment where I was already losing my mind from boredom, and then like that's like the worst game to play when you're already agitated. You know, like when you're in an agitative state, do not play a Souls game. And that's what we did. I feel like if I tried it again, I love that completionist style. I do enjoy trying to like strategize. I think I would like it. I do think I would like it. And plus there's so much hidden lore in those games. However, so all that to say, I'm not like the biggest Elden Ring or like Souls like game fan. But
in terms of a movie,
I think there's a lot to be had here. And A24, I oddly trust them. I oddly trust them that they're going to do it right, because they're not ones to go just for money grabbing. Like they oftentimes lose money for making films. So I feel like if there's one production house that has the means to make it and the means to do it right, I just feel like Elden Ring will do it, or A24 will do it.
I agree. I think so too. I think they'll I know a lot of guys who will go see it. I do know that. I got a lot of guys that will.
Yeah.
But that's because they're like super enveloped with Elden Ring, play it as soon as it comes out, grinds it out. So
yeah,
I think it'll be fine. I'm just probably not target audience for that one.
I feel like I am one binge playthrough away of being very involved with this movie, because I do think I would like the Souls games. I just haven't committed the time. But anywho, any other thoughts before we end our show?
I do not.
Well, that's been Beyond the Screen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sticking around in this extended episode as we talked everything CinemaCon and beyond. We'll be back next week with the latest from Hollywood cinema, and we'll have some reviews coming up. We need to pick the one we want to do next. But until then, we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.